Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm here with my friend Mateo, and today we're going to be talking about some theories. So first, we're going to start off with our first theory here. The difference between Steve and the human. Now you're going to probably be saying, oh well, Steve's design is based off the human and all this. But remember, this is a theory. And anything could be possible. So, if we think about Steve, there's a big difference here. What if every Minecraft player just looks like Steve? Like, what if all the humans just look exactly like Steve? They all just wear blue shirts, have brown hair, blue eyes. I know what you're saying, that's dumb. But we all know Notch added those humans for a reason. And what if those Steves that we say, these little humans, if you search them up, they're called human entity, also known as human mob. What if those are the ancient builders?
Yeah, so, I was saying, so, the humans, right? So, the difference between the humans and Steve is, like, Steve you play as, you do everything with Steve. But the humans were before Steve, right? So, what if they were the people before Steve that they built everything and like all that stuff?
Yeah. What if they're the people who built the villages, and when the villagers became mobs, what if they learned off of those ancient builders? But we're not here to talk about villagers, we're here to talk about the humans. Now, if you don't know what we're talking about, humans, they were added all the way back in 2009. They were the first mob to be added in the game by Notch. They would just run around, and that's it. They would just run around.
Yeah, they didn't really have a point, but it was kind of a testing, which doesn't really make sense why they would add it to the actual game. They should have tested it in something else.
Yeah. To be honest, I like the whole theory of humans looking exactly like Steve, because what if that's Steve's ancestors? Like, what if before Steve was a person, like born or became a mob, or like a human, before he existed? What if those humans were before him? Because we know zombies wear blue shirts, right?
Yeah.
What if all those humans would used to just run around and build things, just like Steve? Because you know how Minecraft is an ultimate sandbox where you can do anything you want.
Yeah.
What if those humans were doing that? They were running around, building their own stuff, doing all that.
Okay.
But eventually an infection spreaded and turned them into zombies.
I was about to go off you. Yeah, I was gonna say, what if all the humans turned into zombies after an infection, and that's why there's so many zombies, and they're wearing the same thing that Steve is wearing? Because if you see zombies in different movies, they're all wearing different clothes, whatever. But why in Minecraft that like all the it's my bad, zombies are wearing the exact same thing like the humans did?
Yeah, exactly. The same blue shirt and same pants. Now, people today don't really bother about that. They're just like, oh, they're just zombies. But this could be a big theory if you think about it. The humans look exactly like Steve, wear the same shirt as Steve, same pants, same shoes. What do the zombies have? Same shirt, same blue pants, and same shoes.
Yeah.
It's obvious. The humans were the ancient builders. What if they were eventually just building stuff? They were doing their own lives in the Minecraft world, but eventually a sickness spreaded. A virus started to start, and it wiped out all of them. And Steve was the only remaining survivor.
Yeah, that's why we play with him, and we try to build a base and get away from the mob.
Welcome to Chapter 2, guys. We're going to be talking about another theory. Who is Danny, and what is his story? If you don't know who Danny is, he is a human that died before us. If you look at the top screen thing, the recipe thing that says, hey, you unlocked a new recipe, or the thing that tells you, hey, this is Oakwood and stuff, the thing that teaches you all this stuff. Now, I've always been, you could say, oh, that's just a tutorial thing, or that's just a thing that tells you stuff. But I kind of took this to a theory. How does it know about all this stuff? Why is it telling us? Why is it even there? When you're playing Fortnite, there's not a thing at the top of the screen that says, oh, wow, this is a tree. This is a gun. This is that. So, what is this thing? And lots of people have named it after the song Danny. Because at the time, in old Minecraft, Danny was one of the only songs to have representing a name. Which, the song Danny does represent a real-life person, but it also is the only song that has, that in there right now, that is an actual name. Now there's Chris and all this stuff, but before it was just Danny. So people now are suggesting that Danny was a human that died before Steve got to the overworld.
Yeah, so I have a theory on that. So you know how Danny was before us. So if you're ever in the snow biome, you see a snow village. Sometimes there's igloos. There's sometimes igloos, but mostly is. But if you think about it, the ones that go underground with the zombie and the zombie villager are the zombie and the villager of the zombie folk. Who placed them there? It couldn't be the villagers, since the villagers don't have hands. I mean, they do, but they don't take them out. And plus, why would a villager do that on their own villager? So I think it was Danny who was working on a cure or something that he could stop the infection that we were talking about in chapter 1.
Yeah, here's my theory to that. I agree with your whole Danny thing with the igloo thing, but here's what I say. I say that Danny was a person who was with those humans. He was one of those humans, but he managed to escape too. And he saw this whole infection thing taking over half of the world. So he found the villagers, which were the remaining people who took over the ancient builder stuff. So I'm thinking that he saw the villagers also getting infected. So when he captured an infected, a zombified villager, then took it to an igloo that he was staying at, took it underground into that little secret area, and was testing it to see if it would work. Maybe healing potions, because we know there's potions that can reverse the effect, the zombie effect.
Yeah.
The question is, what killed Danny?
Yeah, that's a good question. Me and Matthew, we were talking about this before. We think it was the moths that killed them.
We think it was the mobs that killed him. It could have been a zombie, but then once again, how would he catch a zombie, but not then die from one? That wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It had to be something stronger. It could have been an Enderman too. But the real thing that matters of how he died is how far he got in the game. He could have been at wooden tools so far. But we know he wasn't at wooden tools because he wouldn't be able to build an igloo base like that.
Yeah.
So obviously he had to be somewhere at stone or iron tools.
Yeah. So I have to say something. So you guys know, you play Minecraft. You know about the pyramids or the stuff in the
Temples.
The temples. Thank you. The temples in the desert. People might say it was like
The villagers. It was
the
these
villagers.
people.
Yeah, the ones in the desert. But again, they don't really have hands, or they don't use them.